Britney Spears has once again become the center of global attention after being arrested in Ventura County, California for an alleged DUI, a development confirmed by multiple major news outlets. The incident has reignited widespread concern about her well-being, not just because of the arrest itself, but because of the long, complicated, and often painful history that has shaped her life. To understand why this moment feels so heavy, it's necessary to look at the full arc of her story, from her rise to fame, to her public struggles, to her mental health disclosures, and the years of instability that have followed, including her marriages and the children that were part of it. Britney Jean Spears was born on December 2, 1981, in Mississippi, and raised in Kentwood, Louisiana. From a young age, she displayed a level of talent and discipline that set her apart. She trained in dance, gymnastics, and singing, eventually earning a spot on the Mickey Mouse Club alongside future stars like Justin Timberlake and Christina Aguilera. Even then, she had a presence that was impossible to ignore. Her debut single, Baby One More Time, released in 1998, didn't just launch her career, it reshaped the entire pop landscape. Practically overnight, Britney became one of the most recognizable faces on the planet. She dominated charts, toured the world, and became a cultural icon whose influence extended far beyond music. But with that level of fame came an equally intense level of scrutiny. Paparazzi followed her relentlessly. Tabloids dissected every relationship, every outfit, every expression. She was barely out of her teens when she became one of the most photographed and talked about people in the world. As her fame grew, her personal life became increasingly public. And in 2004, Britney married her childhood friend Jason Alexander in Las Vegas, a marriage that was annulled just 55 hours later. Later that same year, she married dancer Kevin Federline, with whom she would have 2 sons, Sean Preston and Jaden James. That marriage was turbulent, and by 2006, Britney filed for divorce. And what followed was a highly public custody battle that unfolded under the harshest possible spotlight. In the years that followed, Britney's personal relationships continued to draw public attention. In 2016, she met actor and fitness trainer Sam Asghari on the set of one of her music videos, and the two began a long-term relationship that many fans saw as a stabilizing presence in her life. After the conservatorship ended, Britney and Sam married in June 2022 in a small, private ceremony. However, the marriage was short-lived. By 2023, the couple had separated and ultimately divorced, adding yet another emotional upheaval to an already turbulent period in Britney's life. By the mid-2000s, the cracks in the facade began to show. Britney was navigating the emotional fallout of divorce, the pressures of motherhood, and the suffocating presence of paparazzi who followed her every move. Her behavior became increasingly erratic, and the public watched her unravel in real time. The infamous 2007 breakdown, the shaved head, the umbrella incident, the hospitalizations, became one of the most overexposed celebrity crises in modern history. But behind the spectacle was a woman in profound distress. During this period, Britney later acknowledged that she had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. She spoke about this publicly in the early years of her conservatorship, explaining that she struggled with mood swings, emotional overwhelm, and the crushing weight of fame. Her diagnosis became part of the justification used to place her under conservatorship in 2008, a legal arrangement typically reserved for individuals who cannot care for themselves. But before the conservatorship was put in place, Britney faced one of the most devastating chapters of her life: the loss of custody of her children. After her divorce from Kevin Federline was finalized in July 2007, the situation deteriorated rapidly. In October 2007, a court ruled that Federline would receive sole physical custody of their sons. The judge cited Britney's habitual, frequent, and continuous use of controlled substances and alcohol as the primary reason for the decision. The ruling came after months of concerning behavior, missed drug tests, and escalating instability. The situation reached a breaking point in January 2008, when Britney refused to hand over Jaden during a scheduled custody exchange. She locked herself in a bathroom with him, prompting police, paramedics, and a SWAT-style response. Britney was hospitalized under a mental health hold, and the incident effectively ended her ability to retain any custody rights. From that point forward, she was granted only supervised visitation, a devastating blow for a mother already in crisis. For the next 13 years, Britney lived under a conservatorship controlled largely by her father Jamie, and, during that time, she continued to work at an extraordinary pace. She released albums, completed a Las Vegas residency, toured internationally, and generated hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. Go figure. But, yet despite her professional success, she had limited control over her personal life, finances, or medical decisions. The contradiction: a woman capable of performing at the highest level while legally considered incapable of autonomy, sparked the hashtag Free Britney movement, which grew into a global demand for her independence. In 2021, Britney testified in court about the emotional and physical restrictions she endured under the conservatorship. Her testimony was raw, painful, and revealing. Shortly afterward, the conservatorship was terminated, marking what many hoped would be the beginning of a new chapter in her life. But freedom did not bring stability. In the years since the conservatorship ended, Britney has used social media as her primary outlet for expression. Her posts, often consisting of repetitive dancing videos filmed alone, emotional captions, sudden account deletions, and cryptic messages, have sparked ongoing concern among fans and observers. Some people interpret her behavior as a woman reclaiming her voice after years of control. Others see signs of instability, trauma, and unresolved mental health struggles. Reports of wellness checks, public conflicts with family members, and erratic online activity have only intensified the conversation. This brings us to the present moment. Britney's arrest for an alleged DUI does not exist in isolation. It sits on top of years of emotional turmoil, a publicly acknowledged bipolar diagnosis, a long history of trauma, and a pattern of behavior that has raised red flags for a long time. The arrest is not just a headline. It is a culmination of unresolved pain, instability, and the immense pressure of living a life under constant scrutiny. Britney Spears had pills in her possession when she was arrested for DUI, according to TMZ. They've learned those pills are in the process of being tested, and the results could theoretically mean jail time. Sources familiar with the situation tell TMZ the pills were Adderall, something she got while recently in Mexico. Their sources say one of the reasons she goes down to Mexico so often is to obtain the drug. Britney's story has always been more than celebrity gossip. It is a story about mental health, autonomy, exploitation, recovery, and the long-term effects of trauma. Her bipolar diagnosis, which she openly acknowledged years ago, is a crucial part of understanding her behavior and vulnerability. It does not define her, but provides context for the emotional volatility and impulsive decisions that have marked her recent years. The world has watched Britney Spears for decades, sometimes with admiration, sometimes with cruelty, and sometimes with genuine concern. Her arrest is not the end of her story, but it is a turning point that forces the public to confront uncomfortable truths. Freedom alone does not heal trauma. Fame does not protect someone from mental illness. And a lifetime of pressure does not disappear simply because a court declares someone independent. Britney Spears is a human being who has lived more of her life under surveillance than privacy. She has been celebrated, controlled, exploited, freed, and now, once again, thrust into crisis. Whatever happens next, her story deserves to be approached with compassion, nuance, and an understanding of the immense weight she has carried for so long. Hopefully, Britney Spears will get the help and attention she truly needs before it's too late.
And how dare anyone out there make fun of Britney after all she's been through? She's a human! You bastards! Leave Britney alone! Please! Leave Britney alone! Please! Leave Britney Spears alone right now! Leave her alone.
If you're a Britney Spears fan, or if you enjoyed this video, please throw me a thumb. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Stay tuned for more updates. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see y'all in the next one.